flush deck. And a lot of you will know what some of these are, because I know a lot of you guys model the modern scene. But a flush deck, basically, it's an 89-foot flat. The 85-foot flats are gone. They are not on the railroad scene anymore. They disappeared in the late 70s. Here's a Sioux flat. Again, there's all kinds of variations. There'll be variations in these rub rails. Some have them, some don't. Some have them extend to whole length, some don't. Model them. You can either stretch. I think the front one is the front one's a custom rail, which is now AccuRail, has come out with all the custom rail dies for that stuff. I don't know if they're going to release the old auto racks though. I have seen this already, but I'll tell you what, the first time I saw one of these things, with the trailer here that's spanning the two platforms, I did a double take. Now they're fairly common, we see them quite a bit, but this, though, was the first car of that. Can you see right here, this platform, the side sail actually bulges out 9 inches. The design on this thing was such that it was figured that if these two cars went around too sharp of a curve, this set of tires would start to pivot on the flat and would start to hit the side sails. This looks like a piggyback flat, but it's not. This is hauling auto racks or automobile frames. So just because it might look like a flat, and if it didn't have these up here, you'd think it's probably a piggyback flat if you couldn't see the hitches. But this is a different kind of style. So again, it's an 89-foot flat. They came up, and we see these quite a bit, but they're getting less and less as they're wearing out. These are converted 50-foot boxcars. We see Norfolk Southerns, and we see CNWs. That's the two predominant ones. Shot inside the Gunderson plant. They're working on twin stacks. Twin stack was really the very first car to do containers. Gunderson used a steel from Oregon Steel, which is about 3 or 4 miles away from their plant in Portland. Just kind of neat to bring in the steel by rail. Okay, this is what started the whole thing. It's a twin stack. There's variations of this. There's 4 or 5 railroads that own them, as well as TTX. So thus was born the Husky stack. They took the maxi stack. They took one well out of the maxi stack. Same size, same exact that kind of stuff, same bolster and all that stuff. But now they made it a standalone car. So they put bigger trucks underneath, and now they made the standalone Husky stack. Well, let's throw that design through the copy machine again, and we'll make an all-purpose. All right, this was the next generation of Husky stack. Single unit car, but this time, to make it a little more flexible, we're going to put a hitch on each end. So we'll put a hitch down here, we'll put a hitch on that end. And now this car can either take containers, like you see here, or it can take a single trailer in the well as well. This is a Trinity car, and you can always tell Trinities, they kind of look like a Gunderson, but they have 2 or 3 steps on the sides. There's quite a taper there, and they usually have these weird truck skirts and all that stuff. If we can reduce the weight on that piece of rolling stock, we can put more weight in the trailer and the container. So thus was born the idea of spine cars. 2 kinds, single and multi. This is a Mark V. This is the better design. As you can see, all they did here was they took a regular 70-ton truck, freight car truck, and a special bolster that then can connect into, again, a dedicated trailer. But this is a lot easier, though, and a lot less weight. Into containers in a deep way. There's lots of variations and styles, and there's all kinds of stuff been written about containers too. Basically just ISO, I put that in there, the International Standards Organization. Well, I threw this one in. This is just a plain old vented box. It's kind of neat because it's sitting on a chassis, which is sitting on a piggyback. Sometimes it's just easier to leave the thing sitting on a chassis. Especially if it goes to some place that doesn't have a lot of chassis available. This is how they import spies into the United States. This is a generator set. These would be neat to model, and they're all very different. For a refrigerated container, like this one down here, what they do is they take the center well, the D well, and they make a gen set. Usually has bulkheads. This one's got a little fence around it. This one's a little different because you can actually climb up and over. And then there's special purpose ones. I threw this one in. About 2 years ago, Allied tried an experiment. That's a moving van container. So they drive it up with it on a chassis to your house, open the side door, they load all your furniture in this sucker, close up the door, and they stick her on a train in a container train. As far as I know, though, it wasn't successful enough for Allied, because I haven't seen them since. It's a MyJack straddle crane. It's the one in Denver. If you came to the layout last night, you saw a model of this thing. It's a really neat operation. One guy sits in the control tower. Some of the MyJacks, they put the control tower up here so that they can see the trailers a little better. And there's one guy on the ground unlocking the kingpins. And one thing that's really neat is they stage up all the trailers, like in Denver, they stage up all the trailers to match the hitches. So the whole intermodal train's sitting here all empty, and the trailers are right next to it, and the straddle crane just comes down and pops them on. Packer started life as a log loader up in the Pacific Northwest. That's where the idea came from. They could load logs with this. They changed the grapple a little bit, and so now they can do trailers and containers. It's a lot slower than a straddle crane. This whole top of the cab swivels. He's backing up the trailer right now. So instead of having to look in his rearview mirror like a typical tractor does, he just swivels the little cab around so it points backwards. And now he can push the trailer backwards. It takes a little bit of coordination to run that thing, I guess. I don't know what he does when he sits in his automobile. He wants to drive backwards. Take a container. They're pulling the stuff out in this case, but everything works the other way if you're going to ship. Basically, there's this funky rack that they assemble. Cars are put into this rack, and it's really neat. There's a movable floor in here so that the guys that are driving the cars don't ding the doors or anything like that. And everything is fairly automatic. And then when the cars are put in place in this rack, then the whole rack is pulled right into the container box. Doors are closed, and you don't even know there's automobiles in there. For those of you who came to the layout, that's my hub. And we run it. So my operator that works this, he's got lift reports that tells him cars or trailers and containers to unload and reload, and then just uses whatever wells and flats he's got available to be able to flush out the train. If he doesn't have enough wells or flats, then he's just got to mark that on his lift reports. See, not model railroader, but model railroading, and I brought a copy here. We try every month to do something intermodal. We're probably the most intermodal model magazine there is. Off the lights. I brought some resources down if you want to look at some things as well. That's the magazine. Here we go. Anderson. New 80 Max.
Brand spanking new.
Oh, very nice.
Those auto.
Yeah, it's the automobile chassis.
Skyscrapers.
Tones. That time was nearly large for double stacks a couple years ago, I think.
The lowered it.
Why? I wonder which car that is.
That's in West Virginia somewhere, don't know. We were down there in it was Miners Vacation Week in June. So we could see some of the Junes.
Oh, I see, it was real vacation.
Is that cats? It's kind of hard to get any great railfanning pictures there to see when the engine's on the rear of the train. This is out of order, but it's Russell, Kentucky. According to David, was once the largest yards in North America. Alright, it's the next slideshow, part 2.
Yeah.
This is
Colorado trains. This is in Pueblo. This is Pueblo yards. This is on the Pueblo to La Junta line. I think it's, I don't know who it is, same thing. So, I don't know what that red engine is.
That's an EMD, that's their demonstrator SD70s. All to be abandoned September.
Are they still running trains up there regularly?
Yeah, they're running about, well, let's see. A couple of them camped out and they had about 9 trains a day.
Great. That's the 461 back end of the
463.
463. This is Colorado Springs. That's taken from the train. That shows you how it looks around. And this is the third part of my slideshow. This is Vermont. It's various railroad. What we'll see next year in 1998. This is Vermont Railway, Green Mountain. Vermont Railway recently purchased the controlling interest in Green Mountain. So, and the
Conway Scene.
Back to Green Mountain again. More views of the excursion train. There's freight that runs daily. This is Crawford Knowledge. Northeast Region Convention.
Your pictures of vehicles have their hoods open.
Conway Station here. This is now Washington Cog Railway. There's a daily Amtrak both ways of Vermonter. There's the baggage there.
Yeah, so I basically on here,
In Pacific. Yeah. This shirt Roesch. Look at this.
I'm pretty used to public speaking, so
Alright.
I brought one for my layout. It's my passenger station, obviously. What you need to do when you're scratch building a building is first you have to visualize what you want the building to look like. So, you know, you gotta go through and draw it out like I did here, see what it looks like. And before you start to cut anything out, what I always do is I take newspaper, and they're pretty cheap to make. This probably costs $9–10 maybe. What you do is you go to the pharmacy and you buy some Bristol board, obviously. You know, and it's easier to get white or the color. And you draw out plans like this, exactly how you want to make it, and then you cut out the Bristol board. You know, so it matches this. And what I did to make the I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's to make it look like it's made out of wood. I took an X-Acto knife and just scratched the wood in with a ruler. The inside, not that hard. You take your Bristol board again and you color it in and use felt markers and that sort of thing. You just got to use your imagination a little bit, and it's not that hard. Not that hard to do once you set your mind to it. And there's really not that much to it, really. And instead of buying a $30 model with nothing inside, you can spend $9 and do it yourself, you know. And it looks a lot better, in my opinion. Building roads, good way to build cheap roads instead of going to the hobby shop spending like $50 on roads for your city. Because we all know someone who smokes, right? So you ask them to keep their pack. These are ratio scale roads. Pack's about the same size as the road. So you open it up, and you cut the ends off where it's been glued, because you obviously ripped it open. And just spray paint it in gray, And if you want, you can, add yellow line stuff down the middle. But, build up on cardboard or whatever you want to do. It looks really good. Yeah. And that's about it for me. Richie wants to start here.
So I'm doing plenty of it. But this is my first building I'm going to build now, and my only one, so obviously I'm an expert at it. How many of you have scratch built a building before? Yeah, how many of you have done it board by board construction?
I use pizza boxes.
Once, but I trashed it.
They don't go together.
Actually, board by board construction isn't hard. It does take a little bit of time to do. It took me about a month to complete this building. But it's actually really easy to do. For building the building, the first thing you need to do is pick the prototype. It could be, an actual prototype or something you make up yourself. The prototype reminded me of the Yancey's coal dock in the May 97 issue of Model Rotor. I modified the plans a little bit to make the station on the coal dock. But the history of my building, it's a fictional history. The station was fictionally built in 1911 by the Rio Grande near the bottom of the eastern edge of the Rockies in Colorado. And it was built for the railroad town of Rio View, which that town really doesn't exist, but I thought the name fit right. And it's all passenger service until 1974 when Amtrak stopped service to it, but since it's not a town, there was really Amtrak service to it. And now in 97, which is what you see now, it's just beginning stages of being restored. If you're looking at it, there's like a person in there with a hard hat, and there's some wood in there, and there's wood right there. And one thing you want to do is you want to make sure it's all the perfect size, because if it's like too small, other people like visitors may not notice it, but you'll notice it on there yourself, and you ain't gonna want the building, especially if you're spending like $20 on it and spending a month working on it. And then for like windows, I use these Brent line signs. No, it wasn't the ones I was originally looking for, but they worked just as well anyways. I wish I could demonstrate more with this, but before I left, I was like 2 in the morning, working on it. So didn't really have time to really demonstrate how I built it, but I hope it gives you a good idea of how to do it, or and these ideas can probably be, used in other types of scratch building. That's my plan. Any questions?
How long did you work on it?
About a month. It took me about a month to complete this little building. But I think it turned out pretty well. Anybody wants wood, I'm going to just right now.
Yeah, I think you better go get lunch.
Yep.
Better.
Only the whole world could be air conditioned. And there would be peace.
Adventure today. Now we'll be going out to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Hey, how are you enjoying the 97 National Convention?
It's great that I wish there was more Penn Central.
Yeah.
No, there's like none down here. I don't get it.
Yeah, we're still looking. We got about 3 more days.
We will find those Ln and E units. So
Yeah.
yes, we will find them.
Yeah.
Battery's gonna talk us to death on the Clinchfield CB, and I'll start making up stuff for Penn Central.
Yeah, definitely. You got your own radio show here.
Yeah,
WTRN, Ultra.
Yeah.
the life, history, what was it? Life and times and history of the Ln.
Yeah, dates and history, stuff like that.
Yes.
The Penn Central.
Penn Central memories.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Penn Central, what it has to do with your life.
Alrighty. Cool. Hey, we are here. Welcome to Wyoming. Good day, and welcome to Wyoming. On the list of 5-star rail fanning locations. And as you can see, our members have gotten together, setting up equipment. Peace, man, peace.
Rock on, dude.
Just gotten together?
Getting in the shade.
Yeah. Convention attendance is what, up to about 12 or 13? At last count.
Is that up from last year? Down.
Okay. How you doing, Matt?
Not bad.
Welcome to Cheyenne. It's good to have you here.
Thanks.
Awesome. Nobody is safe from the lens of the camera. And the zoom. He's got the scanner.
It doesn't help, I don't know what to listen for. Like they're mentioning all these mileposts and control points. I have no idea where they are.
A little different from the Bay Colony, huh?
Bay Colony?
Yeah.
I don't even need the scan for that.
Yeah.
We found clearly Canadian.
Yes.
I've been looking for this. It's not very easy to find. Kind of miss it.
Yep.
Yeah. Doesn't have French on it though. So it's
The taste of home.
Yeah, no doubt.
Does it have French on it where you live?
Yes, it does. Bottled for the states. See, it says how much the return is in different states.
Yes.
Hey, this is what we do out here at national conventions here at the TAMR. In this case, this is National Convention in Denver. We had a 13 or 14 come out this year. Members coming out from far away is Canada, Vermont, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Victorville, California. We have members out from Cleveland, Ohio, and Centerville, Ohio. Ritchie Roesch came out from Texas, and Mike Akery came all the way out from Denver today, here in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
And joining us today is Rick Selby. Good to see you, Rick. Welcome to Video 97.
Welcome to Cheyenne.
Yes, sir. The rail fanners are at the track. Profiles of the ex-presidents continued.
TRN, all trains all the time. We run exclusive railroad programs for that serious modeler and train enthusiast. I'd like to point out we have several major shows right now, breaking all the ratings records. We have the LNN, Places, History, and some other thing. And also, another great favorite of mine personally is the Penn Central, and what it all has to do with your life. Next we have our special news desk, which is one of the best in the country, I think, in truly showing what journalism is all about, this modern day world. Then of course we go to a few PBS shows. We have the Signing Time Station.
Now taking positions. We got some UP action. Down from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
That's pretty far.
The leader of the 1 mile division, here's Barry.
Hey. Somewhere in Wyoming.
Yes. Coming your way, Rich. Here we are, in the middle of Wyoming. Here's our Wyoming rail fan location.
And over here, trackside, and near Sherman Hill.
We're definitely trackside. Scramble for position. We have a train alert. Inbound bogey.